I forget my ring for one day. One day. And y'all think I'm divorced. You like things. I'm gonna try. Work till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, 'cause I'm not giving up on my dream. Hey gorgeous, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kopano, and this is how I do things. The show where you send me your questions and I'll let you know how I would do things, and I can take it as advice or use it as entertainment. Use it, don't use it. Take it, don't take it. Do what you will with it. Listen, I am no professional, none whatsoever. I'm just letting you know what I would do if I was in your shoes. Now, in life, I think that anxiety is something that many of us struggle with, and we have found different ways to deal with it and other ways where we cannot just let it settle in. We cannot just let it, we ride the wave, we ride the anxiety wave and the overwhelm wave, and we just like, it will finish, and when it finishes, I move on. I think especially as women, we have this thing of just be strong, fight through it, it will be okay. And it's not okay to do that. We need to actually focus on ourselves and reel it in. We can't just cope with anxiety. We can't just let it be a norm. That's not okay. If we feel anxious, if we feel a bit of overwhelm, there needs to be something that we need to do, someone we can turn to, or a few things that we can do to ease the anxiety and to manage it. Not to really just feel like this is life. Life is anxiety, period. No. That's not how life works. Sorry if, my afro just fills the whole thing is just filled with my afro. I'd just like to let you know that this afro is sponsored by God, delivered by my mother through a courier service called Jeans. Anyway, if you have any questions that you want to send to me, head over to my Instagram and look for this picture right here. It's on my Insta story highlights. All you have to do is go to my profile at Kopano. You'll find a little circle that says how I do things. Click on it and you'll find this picture right here. It is the question picture. Reply, let me know what scenario, what question you have for me, or what video idea you have. Because how this works is that you send me a question or a suggestion on a video that you want to see and hear about, and then I'll create one for you. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so right now, because that's how the family grows. That's how I know that you are actually enjoying what I do for you right here. Because every single Sunday at 7:30 we have a brand new video going live. It premieres, which means that when it goes live, I am there chatting to you, everybody who pitches up at 7:30 South African time. No matter where you are in the world, you are welcome, my darling. Come. Okay, so today I've got my water. I am hydrating because hydration is key, my darling. It's key to good skin, it's good hair. It is just, hydration is the thing that makes you glow from the inside out. What are you having today? Are you having your cup of tea? Are you having some Earl Grey? Because that's what I'm craving right now. I hope that when my husband watches this, he gets the hint that Kekopa Earl Grey tea. So anxiety. Ugh. Anxiety is a lot. Anxiety can make you feel like you can't have rest. It makes you feel like you've been chased down. It makes you feel like, someone's coming after you. You have to keep running. You have a long to-do list. You can't breathe, because if you breathe, you're going to miss something. If you miss something, you're going to be in trouble. Anxiety is a lot. Anxiety is a lot to deal with. And there's many ways that we can cope with it. But I found that it's something that, for me, comes up quite often. And I found different ways for me to cope with it. And when anxiety comes around, I've realized that I have triggers, things that trigger my anxiety. And if I do certain things, those triggers pile up, I get very anxious, and then I want to blow up and drop everything and just curl up in a little ball, fetal position, and just give up on everything that I'm doing. So how do we then deal with anxiety, especially when our life is just moving? How do we then get our heads around this? Number one is that I have a war room. It's not a whole room, it's a corner. And just outside of this frame over here in my studio, there's a corner where I have papers like this, where I've written down everything that I think about and everything that I read about in my Bible. All the topics that are important to me. And one of the topics that are important to me that's written on my wall, on my war room, is don't be anxious, trust in God. And this is something that helps me a lot. Having a war room and having the things that I know pop up a lot. So things about anxiety, things about trusting in God, things about how God talks to you, things about, building the temple and prayer. All of those things that I know are usual questions that I always have to return to. I have them up on the wall, pasted up, and every time I need them, I go into my war room, I take them and I read them and I pray. So having a place that you can always return to, a place that can always bring you back to base, is very important. It's a corner where I know, it's almost like that's where my faith lives. That's my temple. That's where I'm building the temple where God lives. And that place is so important to actually have it in a physical place. If you've ever watched the movie War Room, it is about having that place where you pray, that place where the important verses are placed up on the wall. And the importance of actually seeing that is that you have a physical location. It's like a church in your house. And it's a physical location that when you get to that location, you can think about nothing else but God and what the Bible says about what you should do in your life. So if you do not have one, I encourage you to create one. Even if it is in your wardrobe, when you open your wardrobe and you have on your closet door, in the inside you have all of these things that you've written out, that's good enough. You don't have to have a whole space. All you need is just one physical location. This is the verse that always returns me back and lets me know that stop worrying about these things. They're not your responsibility, they are God's. Your responsibility is to obey and do the last instruction he told you. Shepherd over the blessings he's given you now. Which leads me to point number 2, which is to focus on gratitude. When the things that I don't have cause anxiety, I'm always reminded to focus on the blessings that God has already given to me. Because when I am ready for the next blessing, he will give it to me. He will make sure that my work, that I sow from the work that I am putting in, he will make sure that at the right time, I will have harvest. So all I have to do is focus on God and focus on what he last instructed me to do. If his last instruction was for me to just take care of everything I have, if I want a whole new wardrobe and I'm stressed that I have such ugly clothes, then I take my mind away from that and I focus on the clothes I do have. Am I doing a good job at shepherding over the blessings I have? Am I doing a good job of taking care of the clothes I have right now? I'm going to sew all my buttons, fix all the parts where it's been torn. I will wash all my clothing, iron all my clothing, pack my wardrobe, and be ready for the expansion, for it to grow, for God to bless me with new clothing, or to bless me with what I truly need. Maybe I'm focused on clothing and I actually need something else. So that's what gratitude does. It moves you away from the things that, moves your focus away from the things that you don't have and puts your mind on the things you do have. Because in us taking care of the things that we do have and us being grateful for the things that we do have, that's how we prepare ourselves to gain more and to get more and to receive the blessings when they do arrive. So then number 3, which is something that we don't always talk about, which is you need to show your gratitude through action. So there's one thing, having a journal and writing in your journal that I'm grateful for XYZ. But then you say that, Lord, I'm grateful for the clothing I have now. But all your clothing is torn. You have holes in your clothing. They're missing buttons. It's not clean. You have a pile of washing that's up to here. Your wardrobe, your clothing isn't folded properly. That's not gratitude. You're saying it, but you're writing it down in your fancy little journal. But that's not gratitude. That's not gratitude. You know what gratitude is? Gratitude is actually taking care of the things that you say you're grateful for. So if you're grateful for, and I remember I did this all the time. I used to have this car, my Skodonki. My Skodonki used to stall. Like it used to just stop in the middle of the highway. It's done that before, where literally the engine cut. So I used to just wish and pray and be anxious about this car. So I moved my mind to gratitude, and I'd literally just be in my car and just be like, you know what? It's my Skodonki. It dies. It kills off. It's fine. I'm grateful for it. So what did I do? I used to wash that car. I used to make sure it was clean. I used to make sure, the car I had before that, it was a perfect car. Everything was good with that car. It was always dirty. But this one was clean. I'd make sure the car was clean, whether it had petrol or it didn't have petrol, whether it was stalling or it wasn't stalling. I would never be ungrateful for that car. Never. And if I was just like, this car, I'd be like, oh, my Skodonki. Heavenly Father, I'm so happy for this car. Literally, you need to show it through action. So I took care of that car. I really took care of that car until the very last minute. And that's what you should do about the things that you're grateful for. Don't just say that, you know what, Lord, I hate this job. You hate this job. And you're just like, but Lord, I'm so grateful that I have this income. If you're grateful for that income, you best do your best job at work. Do your best job. Be grateful for that job through action. Don't just be grateful through words and through just writing it down. It is to show in your actions. Number 4 is to remove the things that cause anxiety. For me, the things that caused anxiety was the community of content creators who looked so happy and so content, and they made this content creation life look easy. I hated it. So I unfollowed everyone. I still haven't followed back everybody that I want. I think I've started following about 6 or 7 people again that I truly appreciate, that I feel like these people give me value. Those are the people I started following. I don't even follow family members. Look, social media is a huge source of anxiety, and it's something that honestly, if you can do without it, go without it. So I started unfollowing people because I work on social media, so I can't necessarily delete it. And I started to develop a healthier relationship with it. So what is causing you anxiety, and can you remove it? If the job that you have is causing you anxiety, if the people that are around you are causing you anxiety, can you change it? And if you can't change it, can you change your approach to those things? How you cope with those things is very important. And there was a point where these daily videos were the things that caused anxiety for me. And I didn't want to change or let go of the daily videos. So what I did is my approach, which is to wake up early, do the videos before 8 a.m. in the morning, and have them done so I sleep on time. As well as the journal, making sure that I know how I feel and looking at my to-do list. So I changed my approach towards the things that cause anxiety. And number 5, as always, focus on God. Look at your time. Look at your attention. Look at what is important to you. The thing that you spend the most time thinking about is the thing that is most important to you. Do you spend most of your time thinking about God? Or do you spend most of your time thinking about the things that God said you should think about? Are you thinking about obedience? Are you thinking about being a good person? Are you thinking about the commandments? Are you thinking about being, following in God's footsteps, as Jesus is the author and the finisher of our faith? Are you following in his footsteps? Are you going throughout your day and thinking to yourself, what would Jesus do, and doing what Jesus does? If that is where your mind is, then that is where your heart is. But if your mind is mostly on money, your car, your house, your clothing, social media, Instagram, then that is where your heart is. Where is your heart? Because God will judge our heart, our intention, where we were. And I always have to return myself to this. I make these videos for me too. I don't just make these videos, I make them to remind me. And this is something I always have to remind myself of. Where is my heart? Where is my attention? Because that is what my focus is on. And that is what will cause the anxiety. All right, so those are the things that helped me in terms of dealing with anxiety on an ongoing basis. Every single morning, the first question that I ask myself is, what is the verse of the day? What does God have to say to me today? I then ask myself, how do I feel? How am I doing? I check in with myself. And then afterwards, I look at my goals and everything else of the world. Focusing on God and focusing on how I'm feeling, giving myself some attention, looking at how I feel, and checking in with myself has really helped me to cope with that anxiety. And I hope that this helps you too. So read Luke 12 verses 22 to 34. I hope they'll give you a little bit of direction and a better way to cope with whatever it is that you're going through. Remember, you should ask for help. You should ask for help. You should go to someone and tell them how you feel. Find someone that you can talk to. And we need to normalize things such as therapy as well. It is important that we don't sit by ourselves and try and fix things by ourselves. We need help, and we should seek help. Prayer and the Bible is the starting point. And once we have that, it will give us a good mental state and a good starting point for us to go out and seek the help that we need. Get some direction in terms of who should I go to for this help. Because God created therapists too. He made them for us, to help us. So don't think that it is not an option to help you if you need to deal with anxiety on a deeper level. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. This cozy conversation about letting go and dealing with anxiety and letting God come in and help us with wherever we are and whatever we are dealing with in our lives. Until next time, beautiful people, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning at 7:30 live South African time for our live premiere and our live chat. Until then, bye. Hey gorgeous, thank you so much for making it to the end of my video. I hope that you really enjoyed it, and I hope that you'll be back tomorrow. Now if you have not subscribed to my channel, click on this face right here and you'll be subscribed. And if you have not gone to my website, www.kopanishmangi.com, head over there right now to get access to my free ebook 7 ways to boost your confidence, and to also sign up to that waiting list so that you can get that free discount as well as access to the journal when it is released. Until next time, bye.